Here we go. This is our weekly live session. For people that are new to this technique, this is Tongren Distance healing, which is very popular. It's an international system developed by Tom Tam, and it's very effective. The goal is to open up bioelectrical blockages. It's a unique technique by sending energy through the intention of our mind by way of the collective unconscious or through the oneness of Buddhism. We send energy from myself to anywhere in the world. I've been doing it for actually about 25, 30 years, at least in this lifetime. And we want to open a blockage. That's the simple goal of what we need to do. And by observing and watching, you sit, relax with your feet flat on the floor, palms face up, and through my website, anusarwellness.com /weekly, or on Facebook, Anusar Wellness, YouTube, or here on Instagram as well. We want to make sure that we understand that we can receive a session. You just put in your request and sit back and let the energy do all the work. That's the smart process. The energy in the body and the body wisdom will do the work. So let's begin right now. So for intelligent local, please send chi or chi energy, chi, ki, life force energy for perfect blood, lymph, and strong immune system. Blessings and gratitude to everyone as always. So I teach this, and I also have students that are observing, which is great. And we work together, and we do this in a 3-part process because my goal is to give it away so that everybody can actually do it themselves. Blood flow to the brain. 3-part process. Part 1 is to bring energy to the brain. And hello, Katrina. So we initialize the brain. And why is that? Hypothalamus, pituitary, sensory cortex, motor cortex. We tell the nervous system and the endocrine system by electricity and biochemistry to wake up, get started, and talk to the rest of the body. So the brain-womb connection gets initiated. So those are the command points of the brain. Command points of the brain stem, the connection area. So I hope everybody's listening at this very moment, and you can chime in for a great round of support. Augustina had some testing, and what I can tell you, it sounds like great news. So let's hear it for Augustina. Great news to hear that. So we're going to work on perfect blood. Blood is made in the bone marrow. So we do blood flow, nerve flow for part 2 for the spine, part 1 for the brain, part 2 for the spine, blood flow, nerve flow, and T1 for the bones. We can do that C6, C7, T1 for the bones. And people are sending me avocado images, which is great. I wrote a book called Avocado Joy for no other reason than I like avocados, and I wanted to make 150 recipes with avocados. And we did. Blood flow, nerve flow. T1 for the bones, T2 for the bronchial areas. For people with mycobacterium issues, bronchial issues. T3 for the lungs and the lymph. And hello, Gladys. Good to see you on Instagram. And on Instagram, if you're not sure what's going on, my phone is here and my computer monitor is there with 2, basically kind of a split screen thing going on. Tim Keys, welcome back. Blood flow to the brain, and then we work T1, 2, 3, 4, 7. T1 to T8, immune boost. Keep it simple, T1 to T8. Hello on Instagram for everyone. T1 to T8, and especially focusing on the lymph, T3 for the lymph, T7 for the spleen, which is the largest lymph node of the body. And we have a secret weapon for the bones, the craniosacral fluid, which starts in a beautiful place called the Crystal Palace. Almost looks like a gyroscope. The very center of our brain is pituitary, surrounded by the thalamus, hypothalamus. Pineal gland creates what is called the crystal palace, but it's also the home of the third ventricle of the brain, which is the major pump for the craniosacral fluid. Woohoo! Rachel, yes. Respiratory support, Rachel. You got it. Coming up into the brain, breathing, circulation, and then the entire spine. So the craniosacral fluid from the crystal palace in the brain, right around TV20, the crown chakra area, no surprise, to the tailbone 1, 2, 3, and 4. People can see me. And grounding. And the vagus nerve, gut brain axis, GB12, CV12, sacral chakra, cranial nerve. CV17 for the lymph, oxygen areas. And grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. And next we will work with Laura, the Georgia tribe, and Catherine. Blood flow to the brain. And we'll also work for Augustina. MS572. Hello to MS572. Meet MS573. Command points of the brain and brain stem. So we work with Laura, balanced hormones. We work with Katrina, leg stiffness and hips, and Alzheimer's and mobility. So for anything with the brain, including Augustina and the Alzheimer's, 3 blood supplies we focus on: carotid artery, vertebral artery, and occipital artery, and the brain stem area for Augustina. And for Alzheimer's, it is the cardiac, respiratory, and vasculatory center. Vertebral artery, spinal artery. Anti-inflammation, T1 to T8. But balancing hormones as well as a hypothyroid condition. Balancing hormone starts at the pituitary, hypothalamus, lumbar 1 to 3, which would be also advice for uterine fibroids, and castor oil is the best way to approach that. And there are actually doctor-designed uterine fibroid kits, which includes castor oil, herbs. It's with the company naturalfertilityshop.com. It's called Uterine Wise Kit. So that would be a really good recommendation. That along with clay for detoxing and anti-inflammatory heat and light therapies as well. But we also work on the immune system and the fibroids, L1, 2, and 3. And again for Laura, pituitary and L1, 2, 3 as well. And again for the hormones and hypothyroid, C6, C7, pituitary, and C6, C7. And I hope, Rachel, you had a good day today and yesterday, and we'll just tie more and more good days together and keep moving forward. MS, I know who that is now. Hello, MS. Always great to have you here. So all of the endocrine system balancing for the hormones, pituitary, C6, C7 for thyroid, parathyroid, L3 for the prostate, we have prostate to the bone, fertility issues, and fibroid issues. Castor oil is known for working well with fibroids alone. That is a thing. That is a known. Lots of case studies, even from Edgar Casey and others. And let's work our way down. So arthritis in arthritic knees, so T1 to T8, anti-inflammation. Also stiffness in the legs and hips for Katrina again. So T7 for blood flow, lumbosacral plexus for nerve flow for your hips. Yes, I figured it out, MS. I'm slow. So for Helen, Linda, Bruce, Steve, and Brian, all for hypothyroid. Everyone, check your water. Fluoride in your water. Check your water, especially if you all live in the same place. A Berkey filter is really good. You got to get rid of the fluoride in your water. If all of you are together, you all have thyroid issues and inflammation issues, got to get rid of the fluoride and check for arsenics and leads in your water. And grounding, but again, the prostate and the bone. And thank you for tapping regularly for that person. Happy Mama. So hip to hip for the hips for Katrina, Jolly Friend. The knees, we do the back of the knees, bladder 54, and the ouch point on the front of the knees. especially stomach 36. Turkey water is very helpful. You love drinking water now? Yes. The Berkey, I learned about that from, I think, Europe first. It's great. Gravity fed, smart, not crazy expensive. And grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. I think we're catching everything. If you want to do a fun test on your water, put on 2 glasses. In one glass, put your hands around it and think about peace or love. Drink it. In the other glass, think about something negative. Hold it there for a few seconds and then drink it and see if you see a difference. Okay, so we're covering everyone. Let's see. Respiratory support coming up next. And for calm citizen, uterine fibroids, and the eyes. We'll work on the eyes and respiratory and vasculatory. Blood flow to the brain. So for Catherine, eye, vein health. Inflammation might be causing vein overgrowth. So there are some relationships with the breathing in the brain stem, of course. GV17. Cardiac, respiratory, and vasculatory center, the CRV point. It's also good for Catherine, high blood pressure, GV17. I recommend beet juice on a regular basis. So for the eyes, blood flow to the eyes, sky window. For Alistair Carley, cataracts, floaters, eye vein health, ouch point for the eyes. Facial artery, blood flow to the eyes. Macular degeneration, work for blood flow to the eyes. NC3 for everyone for the eyes. Cataracts. There is NAC is a remedy for the eye, and there are books called The Eye Cure or Can See. NAC is for cataracts. I think it's N-acetylcysteine. Entire books have been written on it. I don't have it readily available. I will. Oh, I do. The Cataract Cure. It's NAC. Look at that, tiny. So we'll continue with the eyes. C3 for the eyes, T9 for the liver. Yep, and beet powders are great. If you can get fermented beets, that's even beet powder, even a little bit more, but all good. Fermented beet powder, fermented beets themselves. And has it been helping, Catherine? And grounding, but respiratory, let's really focus on respiratory. That would again be GV17. And then we're also going to work for traumatic brain injury. Tim, we didn't forget you. We will take care of that. GV17 for respiratory. T1, 2, and 3, especially T2 for the bronchial areas. And Alistair, we will also work on the mouth, bone, and gums. So C3 for the eyes, T2 for the bronchial areas, T3 for the lungs, and a real good focus on CV17 for the breathing. T1 to T8. Antimicrobial, antibacterial support. T1 to T8 for sinus infections, and again for the lungs, T2, T3. And let's do a detox for everyone, for Pondering Traveler. Sinuses are also C3, C4. Special point for sinus drainage, TV23, 22, 23, 24 area as well. C1 to C7 for the cervical area, C6, C7, T1 again for calcium balancing, thyroid, parathyroid, T1 for the bones, T1 to T8 for inflammation, T7 left side for sleep, for, left side. And the eyes again for ouch points, cataracts, floaters. Saffron is one good thing for the eyes. CV17 for the lungs again. Heart chakra, also good for despair. GB13. For emotional balancing and sleep. In tongue, third eye area. pineal gland, and again the crystal palace. And grounding. And let's do a detox and lymph drainage for everyone. So we have Bonnie Caracciolo. And we'll add Julie to the MS group for sure. Okay, blood flow to the brain. Brain command points. And we will also work on osteoarthritis, T1 to T8 for any arthritis. Anti-inflammation for healthy cholesterol levels. The best way to work on healthy cholesterol levels is not to eat any external cholesterol. We all have cholesterol produced by the body, but if you introduce it from, say, animal products or eggs or different things, it is better to take a break from that and then see how things go, and then eat more fiber, be more hydrated. And if you have indigestion, I would recommend in this situation digestive enzymes. A good one is Veganzyme by Global Healing Company. And hello, Rosalind Light. So, cholesterol, bile, area T10, gallbladder bile ducts, and liver, of course, T9, T10. And healthy heart, we don't want to miss that. So T1 to T8 for MS. I always recommend people to rule out Epstein-Barr virus for anything like MS, ALS, and Parkinson's, which also attack the central nervous system. So indigestion, T9, T8 to T12. T5 for the heart, of course. The Alzheimer's is inflammation, T1 to T8 as we've been doing. Stiffness in the legs, you can definitely use magnesium chloride oil on the legs wherever you have the stiffness. It will you'll relax the muscles, allow blood flow into those areas. And we don't want to miss traumatic brain injury, which is about blood flow to the brain. Carotid artery, vertebral artery, and occipital arteries. And yes, Maria Augustina, good news of her last scan. I mentioned it already because I was so excited. Everything is stable. She's doing great. Really good news for Augustina. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, the brain stem for Augustina, and the blood flow. Carotid artery, vertebral artery, and occipital artery. GB13, as we mentioned before, for calm, peaceful mind, for balancing out depression. Access the entire spine. And good to see you as always, Rachel. So detox, people were asking about detox, so let's work on the detox organ, the largest one, which is the skin. And we have a 2-week detox with clay program, actually starting this weekend, where we access the skin. The best way to access it is through heat and clay baths, things like that for detoxing. And let's work on the detox for the skin, T4, T7 for the spleen, which is the detox organ for the lymph, T9 for the liver for everyone, L2 for the kidneys. L4, L5 for the microbiome for detoxing as well. Grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. And a couple more things. We can start the mouth, bone, gums, and the neck, shoulders, and metabolism. So let's blood flow to the brain. Brain command points, brain stem command points. Brain stem itself, the medulla for Augustina again. So the bones of the jaw and the gums, the out point first. Believe it or not, nasal breathing as opposed to mouth breathing can also help the structure of the jaw. So the jaw, C3, 4, and 5. C3 also for the dry eyes. And continue on T-spine, T6, T9, 6, 7, 8, 9, spinal pain for being Bonnie Caracciolo. Blood flow, nerve flow for the hips for Esther, T7, lumbosacral plexus. And Liam for autism, if you do a good juice protocol, detox herbs, cilantros, and clay, autism oftentimes is toxicity of the brain. So a good 3-part process for detoxification is clay, castor oil packs, and herbs like cilantro. In addition to that, light therapies. And Tim for 2-year-old with leukemia. So for the autism, GB13, right side, left side. That also includes the areas for anxiety. T1 to T8 for any itis, osteoarthritis for Esther. T7 blood flow. And hips, lumbosacral plexus nerve flow. And bladder S1 to S5. And for all the cancer people, we're having a free webinar on cancer prevention coming up in about 3 weeks. Some basic things we can do, things we talk about all the time, water, special things you can do for your water to increase or to filter it, like the Berkey filter, special additives, which are not really additives, they're just oxygenation, physicist technologies, hyperoxygenating the water. So let's work with Esther. We just got you. Hello, Esther. And we have everyone here for everybody on Facebook. Let me know if I included everyone, and I think I did. We're also going to work with Drew for the kidneys, circulation, Jay for colon areas, and Dina for throat, bones, kidney, liver, support. Blood flow to the brain. And jolly habitant. Kidney tumor, cancer, uterine fibroid. So I would alternate every single day. One time on the belly, the fibroid area, just below the belly button, and alternate on the kidney area. Then if you get bored, the third day you can do the liver area, but you can cover a lot of it anyway. But alternate every day castor oil packs. And if you want to put in the castor oil packs, you can put in things like frankincense, which can also help. Blood flow to the brain, step 1. And let's work for the leukemia for the 2-year-old. Blood flow to the brain, crystal palace for cranial sacral fluid. Tailbone 1 to 4 for the cranial fluid. Hannah Kroger, a naturopath from the early last century time, cured 5,000 kids of childhood leukemia. Tailbone adjustments, sometimes a special tea. Oftentimes, she said it was an issue that the parents were having disharmony in the family from an emotional perspective. C1 to C7, neck, spine, throat, area for others, shoulder release, point. Let's work on the prefrontal lobe neurological development area. GP13, left side and right side, swelling, T1 to T12, T1 to T8. Blood flow to the brain. Brain injury from childbirth and head accidents. That would be the occipital area. And how you doing, Marie? I saw Sandy, and we're tapping right now for good health overall. T1 to T8, T9 to T12. Blood flow 3 areas for the brain: carotid artery, vertebral artery, occipital arteries. Also working for fatigue, brain fog, and low mood for Michael. Again, 3 blood supplies: carotid artery, vertebral artery, spinal artery. And Catherine, you feeling the chi today? T1 to T8, so blood flow to the brain. Again, the 3 blood supplies: carotid artery, vertebral artery, and spinal artery. Low mood, GB13, and the microbiome. So I highly suggest more fermented foods, since a lot of our happy hormones like serotonin is actually produced in the gut. So L4, L5. So with GI problems, it's always good to create a baseline, good colon cleanse. T1 to T12, L1 to L5. So Jolie Habitant, can you give me more information about the cardiovascular disease, weakness and stiffness? A lot of those things could be, I would suggest right away, some green powder superfoods, green smoothies, lots of greens. Wheatgrass. I would do wheatgrass 1, 2, or 3 times a day. And then we'll work on the blood pressure normalization as well. So blood flow to the brain, working on brain fog, GB13, left side, right side for relaxed body. T1 to T8 for inflammation. But let's work on the GI problem with loose stools. Sometimes loose stools means the mucoid plaque is so strong in the gut that it doesn't allow the food to be properly digested, or you have parasites. Not saying you do. These are just all the various possibilities. T1 to T12. Also, the microbiome and the colon, T11, T12, L4, L5. Muscle loss, post-shingles pain. So, shingles is an Epstein-Barr virus family of nerves, so it'd be good to do around, say, some homeopathics for shingles. That would probably be a good option. A lot of this may be caused by that. Depends on where the Epstein-Barr virus sits. It has different conditions. It can create premature ovarian failure. It can create shingles. It can create symptoms of MS, Epstein-Barr virus, MS, Lyme, ALS, all those things. So rule out Epstein-Barr virus. T1 to T8, immune system for the virus. And Tim, well, we're going to work on those two next. T1 to T8, L2 for the true. And for J, the colon, T11, T12, L4, L5. Shingles type pain. Oh, that's Esther. Yep, I have it here. Shingles like pain from the text. Okay. Anxiety and stress and joy for Augustina. She's doing better, but it's a lot of stress. Yep, I get it. Arm issues, right arm, sharp shingles type pain. T1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've actually been looking into topical clove essential oil. I know it worked great for my tooth. Brilliant, temporarily, but it worked great. You can start to reduce that. So maybe a good warm castor oil with castor oil and helichrysum and cloves, even eucalyptus or lavender. Put that right on the direct area on the right arm. And we'll work on the shoulder release for the shoulders. And grounding. Let's work some more on the shoulders. Lung 1, lung 2, shoulder area. Bring the chi flow to the arms. So let's do a craniosacral protocol and a lymph drainage protocol for everyone. And it is especially suitable for leukemia and myeloma. Blood flow to the brain. Crystal palace, thalamus, hypothalamus, pineal gland, and pituitary. The seat of energy connecting us, the interface between our conscious mind and cosmic enlightenment, or just the biochemistry of the endocrine system. So the crystal palace, the third ventricle area, the craniosacral fluid, which flows in the center through ventricles, around the whole brain, down the spine. for multiple myeloma and leukemia, stopping at T1, which is also a PowerPoint for the bones, for bone issues, for leukemia, multiple myeloma. S1 to S5, tailbone 1 to 4. Let's work on the elbows to help with the arm straightening for Masterpiece Maker. So we have the cranial cycle flow, we have PowerPoints for the bones, bone marrow, T1 for the bones and bone marrow, GB39 for the bones and bone marrow as well. See you later, Eric. Thank you for joining. See you next week. And there were a couple of people that wanted to join us for the kickoff meeting, kind of an informational meeting for the 2-week program, people that have signed up. If anybody else is interested. And a lymph tune-up for everyone to finish up. So the lymph system is brilliant. It's enhanced by things like castor oil, pokeweed oils, those types of things. So the castor oil is more penetrating. So the lymph system is basically garbage collection. Removing toxins from the proximal, the nearby arteries and veins, arteries, rather. I guess the veins, good question. So, and then it collects the garbage and moves them out into the blood, filtered and removed by the liver and the kidneys. So we start with the big lymph flow of the neck. Both sides. Axillary lymph. Let's also work on the mammary lymph as well. But the primary collection node is the armpits, the axillary lymph. Inguinal lymph in the groin. And the CV4 area, which is the belly button, which is technically the Peyer's patches. And down the legs. For people who are talking about the legs, we do 2 main meridian areas. The bladder meridian down the back, gallbladder meridian down the side. Bringing the energy down to the feet for the neuropathy for a couple of people. Okay, Eric, good to see you. Continue the energy and our healing community we've created internationally. Liver 3 and kidney 1. And we'll do a little bit of Qigong for everyone. Thank you for joining. Must be a full moon. We're right on time. I think it is a full moon. Let's do all three dantians, the third eye area for the pineal gland, sleep, the whole brain area. Let's do the throat chakra. For some reason, that seems to be très bien. À bientôt. CV17. And CV4. Charge the battery. Okay, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Join as many classes as you can. There's my favorite is Monday at 6 o'clock. There are also cancer special ones. I think on Wednesdays with there's also Tom Tam, myself, Charlie Smigelski, who's brilliant. He's excellent, good friend of mine, and great to see. So thank you, Rachel. Thank you, everyone, for joining, and I look forward to seeing you all out there. And as I said, there is a program we're actually starting in about 30 minutes. We got a group for the 2-week clay cleanse program. In a month or so, we have the 1-week colon cleanse, Tesla-based oxygen flooding colon cleanse. And we have another Tongren training. I think it's on May 20. We've already got people starting to sign up for that one. And then we'll have our next Masterclass. So join us, be your own healer, and take care. Everybody's feeling the chi. Great. There we go. It is a full moon, I think, in about 6 hours. Thanks again. Have a good night. See you next time.